Okay, so we are back with another episode or another lesson. I don't know why I call them episodes. Another lesson in the tutorial series. We are going to work with EasyScript. Okay, or not EasyScript, EasyFence script. Okay, this is basically to teach you how to, you know, make fences using a script where they're going to conform to the terrain, and it's going to make your life a whole lot easier. Um, I'll show you what I mean here in a second. I've imported a couple fences. I've imported this big long fence from a pack. I forget which pack I got this from, with different types of wires and everything. I think these are all like crooked wires and stuff like that. And some straight wires. And so this is all in one transform group. One thing that I would do is I would let's take this over to some, like, where I know that I have a hill here. One thing I would, for the longest time, what I would do is I would, see how this is clipping through the bottom of these posts are clipping through the ground. A lot of the times what I would do is I would just tilt this upwards and then bring this up here and then kind of try to get a good, approximation of the poles and everything. But that's such a pain, and the poles aren't going to look like that in real life. And I just duplicate, bring this down the line and whatnot. That's all fine and dandy. You can do that for flat maps like the one we're working on right now. But you guys, the majority of you are probably going to be working with a lot of different hills, and that's incredibly tedious. Another way of doing it is just having a single pole with a wire. We have a single pole with a wire over here. Let me bring that back. We'll put that right there. Single pole with a wire here, and then you just you duplicate this wire and bring it down to like 3 wires, and then you would just you would maybe have them in a transform group, like let's say like over here. And then every time you move, like let's say this is just one post, you move it down the line, then you just had to angle the wires and everything up and down like this. That's also incredibly tedious. You don't want to have to do that for every post, right? Awful. I'm so happy that somebody made a script for this, because that is one of the worst things. And now you can just make pastures, a whole bunch of pastures, without having to worry to enclose them with the fence and everything, because this is going to make your life so much easier. So I got this fence right here. This fence will not do. Okay, this will not work. It is all in one piece. The fence will not, or the script will not read this part of the fence because it's not a separate group. The wire or the boards or whatever you're trying to connect together, so in this case it's a barbed wire, whatever you're trying to connect together, it has to be a separate object. So you need to go into Blender and you need to separate these boards and whatnot. There are fences with separate board groups, and I'm almost certain that the script will work with it. And it would look kind of weird if you separated the posts way too much, so you need to keep the posts relatively close to each other. But that's further down the line. I'll show you how the script works. Okay, so I should have included the script, EasyFence release, in the files. You can go ahead and take that and put that in your again, I always have to repeat this because people are always asking where it's at. Percentage, app data percentage. You go in there, local, Giants editor, scripts. Okay, that's where you're going to put that. Okay, so go ahead and make a group like this, like I've got set up here. Name does not matter at all. Okay, because this is working off of IDs in Giants editor instead of names of transform groups. Okay, so we got the script group. This is the template. This is basically the pole that we're working with. Okay, we have the wire. And I think this wire actually is supposed to be in this group instead. There we go. I think it's supposed to be structured like that. Okay, so I think it's so we have the pole, which is going to be used as our template while we're making this, and we have a transform group within that, and we got the wire. Okay, so 3 separate components. Okay, so let's start with the template. These are the posts that you're going to be using. You can use different posts if you want. It doesn't really matter. You're going to have a transform group in it. This transform group is going to tell you where the wires are located. So I'm just going to put, I'm going to drag this down. I'll have one located there. Then I'll duplicate that. I'll have one located like there, and then one located down here. Okay, and I might go back and adjust that later, but this is just for demonstration purposes. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I want to delete that last one because I did duplicate it by accident. Okay, so just 3 wires. Okay, I got my wire here. Wait, why is that? Oh, okay, let's bring that over here. Okay. Now we need to measure the length of this wire. Okay, so you can create a transform group. Control X, Control V into that group. Make sure it's located at 0, 0, 0. Now these wires or posts or whatever, the origin has to be on the end like this. Okay, and I believe it has to be in the same direction, the Z direction. If it does not have that, you can put that into a transform group, okay, and rearrange it so that it is at that endpoint. Okay, and then you would just go to edit, freeze transformations, and then you can use the object, whatever object you're trying to connect. Normally these are modeled so that this endpoint is on the end. Okay, because the way the script is measuring it, it's measuring from endpoint to endpoint in terms of length, right? So if you have something that that's not located, let's say the origin of the fence was located like right here, right? Pretend that we have the fence selected. You just like create a transform group, then Control X this into the transform group, and then drag it so that it's at the endpoint of the parent transform group. Then it will work. Okay. Let's bring this. Oh wait, I don't even need this anymore. Get that out of there. Oh, I do. Oh shoot, I'm stupid. Okay, yep, I do that. I do need that in there. It's supposed to be at 0, 0, 0. Okay, that's good. Now I'm going to drag that along, and I'm going to see where this endpoint is here. I'm going to drag that to the end of the wire. I think it's 4. I think that's what I originally measured this at. Yeah, it's 4. Okay, a length of 4. You can see it up here. Okay, make sure this is scaled 1, 1, 1. Okay, everything has to be scaled 1, 1, 1, or the script will make it gigantic. Okay, and you don't want it gigantic. Okay, you don't want a gigantic, you don't want a gigantic wire. You don't want a gigantic. I'm pretty sure even the pole has to be the same size, but yeah, I'm almost certain the pole has to be the right size. All right, so we got the length. You can, write that down if you need to. I already have it in the script. I am going to take this template now that I've got these transform groups put in. I'm going to take this template, I'm going to copy it, and I'm going to put it in output fence. Okay, so now this is our output fence. This is what's going to come out of the script. I'm going to Control B. I'm going to click Control, and then maybe I'll exaggerate this a little bit because this is actually like a square fence in area, but I'm just gonna do this and make sure they're all in order and make sure I'm not doing any loops. Okay, that looks good to me. Okay, now let's open up the script. So go to script editor, easy fence. Okay, so there are a couple variables we need to adjust here. These are the variables, the only ones that we need to adjust. Don't touch anything else. If you touch anything else, you've ruined it and you need to re-download the script. Okay, so nodes count. That's how many nodes we put on that template group, right? There are 3. I typically do 4, but in this case, we're doing 3. If you're using a fence group, there's some fences where it like has 3 boards on it. Then you would just have 1 transform group, right? And you just want those 3 boards, located at that location, right? If that makes any sense. Okay, fence wire. So this is the node of the fence wire. So that's identifying what the object is for the wire. And if you click on wire down here, it'll show ID up here in attributes. That's the number we want. So I'm going to copy that 7125. I'm going to put that down here. Okay. Start wire length. That's the one we measured. Okay, that's 4. Hopefully you've written that down. Otherwise, go remeasure it. Fence transform. Okay. The fence transform group is The fence transform group is this number 7126. Okay. Now, okay, max posts. That's how many posts are in this group. You can go through and you can count them if you really want to, or you can just click on the very last post in this group, and that is 13. That's this little number right here, 13 at the end. Okay, so 13. 1, 3. Okay, we should be good. It has it knows where the actual output fence is. It knows where the node, or knows how many nodes there are. It knows what the what the fence looks like. All of that stuff. We're gonna go ahead and execute. Okay, and if you put too many fences in here, if you're wiring up too many fences, I've done. Oh no, we're not done yet. Oh shoot! I forgot to. We want to do the start post at 0. Because that's where we're starting here. This is the 0 fence post, the very first one. Here, I'll show you that. That's the first one. Okay, and the max number of posts is 13. There we go. I did that wrong. I apologize. Max posts, start posts, perfect. 0 to 13. Now we can actually execute. Now, if you put too many max posts here, I've done up to 60, I think, and it's worked fine. But sometimes your Giants editor will crash. So I'm going to go ahead and run a save here, real quick, just in case it crashes. Doing too many fence posts, it can crash your Giants editor. That's just the nature of GE and scripts. Now, if you want to do this in batches, you could do, like I said, I did 60, and it worked fine. You could do start post. You could do your first 60, 0 to 60, and then you could do start post 60. And let's say you want to add another 60. Then you could do max post 120. Okay, so it would just run down the line from there. Okay, from that last fence post that you have in the group. Okay, so you could do it all in batches if you really want. Okay, I'm gonna execute. Yeah, sure, let's save the changes. And did it work? Yep, there we go. Sorry, I didn't have it. It was hiding behind here. Okay, so it's pretty wonky. It's a fence that I that's obviously because I was deliberately doing that, but there we go. There's our fence. It looks perfect. Actually, it looks really good. There's a couple kinks in it. So normally what I would do probably is I would just run this post down the line, this template down the line. I would just click duplicate for a flat part, and I want it all parallel and everything. If you want it parallel, if you want it equidistant, you're going to want to have a little bit more patience when you're putting these down. I'm going to have this, have that right there at 0, 0 rotation. And then I'm just going to, just like eyeball it. Oops, shoot. Apologize. And eyeball it. Okay. And then that last one, you're not going to click control, obviously. If you have a duplicate on that last one, then you're going to want to delete it. Okay. So, okay, come on. There we go. So this is not in order, actually. I wonder if I accidentally clicked. Yeah, okay, so these are supposed to be in order. I accidentally clicked something down, but you get the gist of it. I think I accidentally duplicated at one of these, and it did that. So make sure those are going in order, just like a Street Spline constructor. But basically, the point I was trying to make is just make sure you're making them evenly spaced. Okay, so that's easy fence, super easy, right? And you should be able to do that, with other fences as well. You might have to work it a little bit, but it should work, with wooden panels and stuff like that. Should work just fine. So I hope that you found this helpful, and I will see you in the next lesson. Wow, you should, by the way, I'm going to remind you really quick, start touching up these field edges. Okay, mine are kind of jagged here. Start touching up these field edges. Okay, by going to terrain detail, this, and making them look nice. Okay, kind of straightening them out in some spots. Right? Start doing that, because we're getting closer and closer to being able to do field dimensions. okay, and you're gonna want them, the way you want them, okay, yeah, that's pretty much it. Just make sure you're doing that. Do a little housekeeping before we move on to the next lesson. So, yep. All right. See you in the next lesson, and happy map making. Bye bye.